cancel or decline every internal recurring meeting that you have, cancel one-on-ones, cancel status meetings, cancel update meetings, decline meetings where you're there and mostly just listening and not adding any value. And that's a little bit easier when you're just talking about meetings within the marketing team. But if you're meeting with people outside of the marketing team, try to get out of it. I love this one. Any external meetings with non-metadata employees, cut that shit out. No. You did offer up, if anyone wants to plead that they need to make an exception, that you could tell you directly and or ask you about it and see if you'd be willing to make the exception. And I think what we were trying to do was we were trying to see not just all of the meetings that we could cut out, but then also there's still going to be the need for some meetings every now and then. But what the company was trying to communicate was if you are going to be having a meeting, you need to have and I used to do this all the time in consulting, a clear objective for the meeting, a clear desired outcome, and then an agenda in the meeting. So don't just get on a call with a bunch of people and hope that, all right, we're going to figure this out. It's prepare for this. And if you don't think that you can contribute to that outcome, then reject it. And I think the last thing that I would say is you were very clear about don't take this personal in that if you invite, I'm just going to make something up. If I invited 4 people to a meeting and somebody 2 minutes in is like, you know what, I don't think I can contribute here, or I'm confused why I'm here, I'm going to drop. You're like, don't take that personal. This is part of the experiment. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of those things are harder to do than others, obviously. And the one-on-ones I knew we would need, part of the strategy was I thought about it like one of those allergy diets. And that's kind of how I thought about it, is where, okay, to figure out what foods you're allergic to, you got to cut them all out first. And then you get to that baseline, and then not cut all food out. Obviously, you got to eat food, but all the allergic-y kind of foods.
The good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you start to add them in slowly back in. And then if you add one back in and you're starting to get a reaction, then you take it back out. And so I was thinking of that process, I guess, when I thought about this. I was like, yeah, let's cut it all out. We'll get a sense for what we're missing. Things aren't just going to crazily drop. We're not going to miss goals or just because of this. So I knew that. But we'd get a sense for, oh man, I really missed that meeting, or oh, I really didn't have this chance to talk to X, Y, or Z. And that we would come out of that 2 weeks with a better understanding of what meetings were important and which ones actually weren't. And so that was another kind of reason behind doing it in that dramatic way. Because again, if you're just, in my career, whenever I've gotten too many, just too booked in meetings and I meet with my boss and I'm like, okay, help me out with this. They just go and swipe things out. And I'm like, no, it's not that easy. And I just knew if we tried to do it one by one, it just wouldn't be, everyone would have a reason that they needed that meeting. So I just had to make a blanket statement, just all of them out. And then we'll add them back in slowly after we realize what we're missing.